Hi, welcome to According to Lou. I'm Lou, and this is Cognitive Therapy, I guess part 2. I just did an intro video of what I want to do. Now I want to get into the basics, like some of the words that might be said with the book or through me that you should know what they mean. Usually we know what words mean, right? I don't. So I found this interesting. So I'm just going to read these words. Cognitive refers to your thoughts and anything else that goes through your mind, including your dreams, memories, images, and your focus of attention. So that's cognitive. Behavioral. Don't say it slow because it sounds like it's coming out wrong. Includes something that you can do and all the things you choose not to do, such as avoiding situations or sulking instead of speaking. That's behavioral. Therapy describes a method of treating a problem, physical, mental, or emotional. We use it mainly to refer to talking therapies such as CBT and other types of psychotherapy. Beliefs refer to your physical thinking styles and the way of understanding the world and your experiences. It also means your personal rules, codes, and attitudes for living. I thought that was pretty cool what belief was. I mean, everybody has beliefs, and you talk about belief systems, but the word belief, when read, it just fascinated me, I guess. Consequence describes the result or outcome of an event of some kind. In this CBT therapy, we mainly refer to the behavior and emotional consequences, basically the kind of results produced by our actions or from emotions. Distress refers to normal negative human emotion that, though uncomfortable and unpleasant, do not cause you long-term problem. So that's distress. Disturbance refers to more extreme, intense negative emotion that can cause long-term problems and interfere significantly in your life. So distress is kind of mild. It's just something that we have to work through, but disturbance is something that can physically be an issue. Experiment. If I use the word experiment, it's not like chemistry or anything like that. It's not test tubes or chemistry. We mean exercises that you deserve to try out to see what sort of effort let me just redo that whole one. Not test tubes or chemistry, we mean exercises that you deserve to try out to see what sort of effect they have on your feelings. So doing some work, like write down your thought that you have, the feelings that it makes you think, why you feel those feelings, and then you can pretty much evaluate whether it is unwarranted or valid, like the way you feel is pretty accurate to the situation. Exposure refers to actions on your part to expose yourself to feared or avoided situations in order to help yourself recover from your problems. Not that CBT is not referring to, note that CBT is not referring to the kind of exposure that could get you arrested. Okay, for example, I don't like human contact a whole lot. I do from people that I love, or I truly believe that they love me, but I'm not a hugger. So like people will come up and want to hug me, and I do it, and it's just really awkward. For me, exposing myself to a situation where I willingly go hug somebody would probably be good therapy for me, to people that I know I can trust, like maybe a certain person at work that I could just go up and randomly hug. Not in like a sexual way, just like, hi, how are you, and hug. That might be good therapy for me. Or at first, of course, not hugging random people at work. Don't get me wrong. Don't get excited about this, people I work with. Maybe like start with my dad or my mom or my brother or grandmom or somebody like that's close. Now, Madison, of course, my daughter, I don't have a problem with. I'll hug her all day. But that would be good exposure, and it wouldn't put me in harm. Just to kind of desensitize because I used to be a hugger, and for whatever reason, I just feel really awkward doing it. And I've not explored why. I really don't even want to. I just don't want to even want to. And that's weird. So that's something I got to work on, but maybe desensitizing myself to it might be a good experiment. Or, not experiment. Exposure is the word we're going for. Okay. Healthy. What does the word healthy mean? Refers to appropriate and constructive behavior, thoughts, or emotions. Now, these aren't probably the words that are in the dictionary, but when talking about it in cognitive therapy, this is what these words mean. Unhealthy refers to inappropriate or destructive behavior, thoughts, or emotions. It's kind of silly. Okay. This is something I wrote out, and I believe we should all do this. If you want to do this with me, it'd be wonderful. I did a mindful, there went my book. Mindful, being mindful of emotions and why. I wrote that out myself. It's, okay, the first one with a line, it says, where was I? So if I had this thought or this feeling, I would write down where I was. What was I doing? What was I doing when this thought came up? Who was I with? Who was I with when this thing came up? Or this thing happened? Or this thought occurred? What were my feelings and emotions? So just basically put down, like, was I angry, sad, anxious? Like, what was my feeling? What did I do because of these feelings and emotions? So you don't want to really change anything. You're just writing down what you did. And then after a while, okay, let me just keep reading and then I'll explain. Did my actions help? Did what I did because of how I felt, did that help me? Are my feelings or emotions realistic? So doing this, just being mindful and writing everything down for a good period of time, I really do believe, and with CBT, they believe that it can help you see a pattern. You'll eventually see a pattern. Maybe you always feel this way around that certain people or around that certain situation or in that certain environment. You can start to see a pattern of, maybe now when I'm in those certain situations, maybe now I can start changing the way I think about them. So that can help. So when you first start, you don't want to really change things. You just want to be mindful of what's going on in your life at that time. Thoughts and triggers. I also wrote that down. What was the thought? The automatic thought, like what popped in your head at that second? What happened to trigger the thought? Where were you? So it's kind of like a shorter version of what I just said. Was I able to stop the thought? So if you're starting to think these thoughts and you start to feel a certain way, you want to stop the thought before you start feeling the effects of that thought. If yes, how did you stop it? If no, what did you do? It's a lot of work with CBT, but eventually the whole point of it is that you will be able to do it almost subconsciously. You won't have to think so hard about it because you know now that it is or isn't a realistic thought. I hope this helps. I'm at 10 minutes, so I need to go. As always, only according to Lou.